What if I told you that productivity isn't just about how efficiently you manage your time or perfecting your morning routines, but it's about fundamentally reshaping the way you think? What if wealth isn't merely the amount of money sitting in your bank account, but the freedom you feel deep in your soul? And what if true happiness isn't found by chasing more and more, but by gently letting go of what doesn't truly matter? Most of us grow up hearing that life is about hustling, about grinding hard, climbing ladders, checking boxes, and constantly building towards something greater. But Naval Ravikant, the quiet, thoughtful entrepreneur turned philosopher whose words have resonated deeply across the internet, offers a profoundly different perspective. He says simply, clear thinkers become clear speakers, and maybe in the clarity of their thinking, find clear lives as well. Hey everyone, I'm Bix, and welcome back to Bix Book Summary, the place where we explore powerful books and transform them into soulful stories designed not just to inform you, but to help you evolve on a personal level. Today, we're exploring the Almanack of Naval Ravikant, curated thoughtfully by Eric Jorgensen. But this book isn't your traditional guide. It's more like a mirror reflecting the wisdom that helped Naval not just achieve incredible external wealth, but also profound internal clarity and peace. Naval Ravikant is known worldwide as an entrepreneur, investor, and philosopher, whose insights on wealth and happiness have captivated millions. The beauty of his philosophy is that he believes both wealth and happiness aren't merely outcomes of luck or genetics. They are practical skills anyone can learn, cultivate, and refine. Through this almanac, he shares ideas that shaped his remarkable journey, ideas grounded not just in theory, but in lived experience, creating a roadmap not to imitate, but to inspire your own unique path. This book, however, isn't about following a rigid how-to list. Instead, it invites you to deeply reconsider the fundamentals of what success and happiness truly mean to you. It's not about memorizing catchy quotes or replicating someone else's routine. It's about reevaluating the essence of what you're chasing and, crucially, asking yourself why. In the upcoming segments, we'll dive deeper into Naval's insights on critical areas of our lives: our relationship with money, the profound power of genuine learning, the hidden forces of leverage, managing and understanding our own suffering, and redefining our identities to achieve true freedom. Not as abstract theories or empty motivational cliches, but as a genuine, thought-provoking conversation. The kind that gently nudges you to breathe a bit deeper, to think a bit slower, and to start seeing your life with newfound clarity. So if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but still something feels missing, if you found yourself wondering, is this really it? Despite promotions, new habits, or endless hustle, then this book and this very video is exactly what you've been looking for. Let's begin this incredible journey together. So let's start with something most of us get completely wrong: wealth. I'm not talking about income. I'm not talking about job titles, flashy cars, or expensive watches. Real wealth, the kind Naval Ravikant talks about, is freedom. It's waking up in the morning knowing your time truly belongs to you. It's pouring your energy into projects that genuinely excite you, rather than tasks you dread. It's the freedom from ever making another decision based on fear or desperation. And this is where Naval drops one of his most striking statements, one that's almost rebellious in our hustle-driven society. You're not going to get rich by renting out your time. When I first read this, it felt like a punch in the gut. Why? Because it describes exactly what so many of us are doing every day. We trade our hours for dollars. Clock in, clock out, rinse and repeat. The formula seems clear. More hours, more money. Higher promotions, bigger paychecks. But here's the harsh reality Naval points out. When your income depends directly on your hours, there's an unavoidable ceiling. You only earn while you're actively working. The moment you stop, the income stops with you. And as Naval puts it bluntly, that's not wealth. That's survival dressed up with extra steps. So what does real wealth look like then? Naval says the key to becoming truly wealthy, the kind of wealth that buys back your mind, your mornings, your entire life, is through building assets that earn while you're asleep. This isn't about gaming the system or shortcuts. It's about understanding it deeply. Assets could mean writing books, creating digital content, developing apps, building businesses, investing strategically, essentially creating something once that continues to deliver value over and over again, without constant active effort from you. Naval calls this permissionless leverage. It's leverage that doesn't require anyone's approval. Not a boss, not investors, not gatekeepers. It just requires your creativity, your courage, and your commitment. Think about it practically for a second. A YouTuber creates a video once, and it can keep earning money and reaching thousands for years. An author writes a book just once, and readers across continents find wisdom in it while the author sleeps. A coder develops an app that thousands, even millions, use without ever meeting the person behind it. That's leverage. And according to Naval, that's where our focus should be, not working harder or longer, but creating systems and products that magnify our impact long after our direct involvement ends. But here's the best part, the insight that truly stuck with me. Naval isn't pitching some quick path to riches. In fact, he's brutally honest about it. He says clearly, getting rich is not just about luck, it's about becoming the kind of person who deserves it. Sit with that for a moment. Becoming the kind of person who deserves wealth. This isn't about chasing shortcuts or hoping for a lucky break. It's not about pretending your way into wealth. It's about patiently, persistently, and deliberately becoming valuable. It means cultivating rare, highly specialized skills. It means creating work that lasts, making wise decisions today that your future self will thank you for tomorrow. Naval is a big believer in playing the long game. He's not interested in temporary wins or short-term victories. He's aiming for something far more meaningful, winning at life itself. That's what truly separates Naval's philosophy from most typical productivity or financial advice. It's not about cheap tricks, it's about deep transformation. Because once you shift your mindset this way, everything begins to change. Instead of asking, how do I make quick money today? You start asking, what skill, idea, or product can I develop today that will keep paying off years from now? You stop comparing your life to other people's highlight reels, and instead, you start crafting your own meaningful journey. You stop chasing wealth and start designing a life. And in that moment, something extraordinary happens. Money stops being the goal. It becomes a natural byproduct of the person you've become, the work you've created, and the value you continue to add. So no, true wealth isn't about luck or perfectly timed bets. It's about becoming someone who can identify real opportunities, take intelligent risks, and build lasting value that continues to compound over time. And the path to becoming that kind of person? Well, Naval calls it cultivating specific knowledge. And that's exactly what we'll dive into next. So if wealth is built through leverage, not labor, and if the goal isn't just trading time for money, then the obvious question emerges, what exactly should I be doing with my time instead? Naval answers this with an idea that might sound almost too simple at first. He says, find your specific knowledge. Not general skills, not what's trending right now, not what your parents or LinkedIn influencers or hustle gurus tell you to chase, but specific knowledge. So, what exactly does he mean by that? Naval describes specific knowledge as something deeply personal and fundamentally unique. It's knowledge that can't simply be taught or learned through a course. It's the type of skill or insight that feels like play to you, but to everyone else, it looks like hard work. It springs from obsession, not obligation. It's intuitive, deeply personal, sometimes weird, and almost impossible to replicate. And that's precisely why it's so valuable. Think about that for a moment. Most of us spend our entire lives trying desperately to fit into certain molds. We chase good grades, the safe careers, the right paths. We try to do what everyone else is doing, just slightly better. But Naval turns that idea completely on its head. He argues that your real leverage, your true power, isn't found in fitting in. It's found in leaning into your own uniqueness, your own quirks, your own obsessions. It's about following the threads of your curiosity, even if they don't seem practical to others, because that's exactly where your magic lies. It's hiding in the things you've loved since childhood, those obscure passions you dive into late at night when no one's watching. It's in those skills you've honed purely because they fascinated you, not because someone else assigned them or promised you a promotion for learning them. Maybe for you, it's storytelling. Or perhaps you have a knack for seeing patterns in complex systems. Maybe it's your obsession with creating visually stunning things, or your intuitive understanding of human psychology. Maybe you're drawn to coding, or teaching, or explaining difficult concepts in a way that's so clear, it feels effortless and human. Whatever your thing is, it probably doesn't come neatly labeled with a clear job title. At least, not yet. And that's exactly Naval's point. Specific knowledge is often invisible from the outside, but when you see it in action, when it's yours, it's unmistakably powerful. Naval puts it simply, you can't be trained for specific knowledge. You have to observe it in yourself. In other words, it's not something you pick up from textbooks or certificates. It's something you uncover by paying close attention to yourself and your life. And when you finally recognize it, when you fully own and embrace it, it becomes your greatest source of leverage. Because nobody else can beat you at being exactly who you are. Here's where this moves from philosophy to real practicality. Your specific knowledge needs a place to live. It needs to be transformed into something tangible, scalable, and valuable. A business, a podcast, a YouTube channel, an app, a book, a community, or even a personal brand. That's how you move from merely being talented to becoming undeniably valuable in a world hungry for authenticity. Combine this specific knowledge with the right leverage, such as technology, media, or capital, and you create something that grows far beyond you alone. That's your escape route from the rat race. That's the moment you shift from endlessly chasing opportunities to opportunities finding you. But this shift only happens when you stop asking yourself, what job should I take? And instead ask deeper, braver questions. What is the thing I simply cannot not do? What puts me into a state of flow, even if nobody else gets it? What gift do I naturally bring to the world, something so deeply mine, no one could fake it even if they tried? The answers to these questions? That's your roadmap. That's your raw material. That's the key to your personal freedom, if you have the courage to trust it. And if this path feels bold or even a bit scary, you're not alone. Naval doesn't promise comfort. Instead, he promises clarity. Because clarity gives you the courage to build something genuinely meaningful and completely your own. Yet there's another crucial piece to this puzzle, something powerful that amplifies everything we've just discussed. It's the quiet, hidden force behind wealth, exponential growth, and even personal peace. It's called leverage, and that's exactly what we're going to explore next. So, you've discovered your specific knowledge, that skill or passion that feels effortless, almost playful to you, yet seems incredibly valuable and difficult to everyone else. And now, here's the next powerful truth Naval shares, something that can reshape your entire mindset about creating wealth. You will get rich by giving society what it wants, at scale. And the critical part of that phrase is those two small words, at scale. Because even if you're brilliant, even if your skill is unmatched, if you're only reaching one person, one client, one meeting at a time, your potential remains capped. You're still bound by hours in the day. You're still rowing a boat using just your bare hands. But leverage? Leverage is like putting up a sail. It harnesses forces greater than you, carrying you farther and faster, using far less energy. Naval describes 3 modern forms of leverage, and the beauty is, they don't require permission. You don't need wealthy parents. You don't need to manage a massive team. All you need is the understanding to utilize tools already available to anyone with curiosity, courage, and an internet connection. Let's dive deeper. The first form of leverage is code. Think software, apps, platforms, automation. You write code once, and it can serve thousands, potentially millions of people continuously without requiring any additional effort from you. This is the magic behind tech startups, digital platforms, and automated systems. It's how one person sitting in a coffee shop can create a tool that changes millions of lives. The second form of leverage is media. And this is where it gets truly exciting. Books, podcasts, videos, blogs, tweets, even these very summaries here on Bix Book Summary. You share your thoughts, your insights, your voice, just once. And then your work lives forever, continuing to inspire, educate, entertain, and earn, long after you've moved on to something else. Media allows your ideas to reach across continents and cultures while you sleep, multiplying your impact without attaching more hours of your life. And then there's the third type of leverage, capital. Money itself is a powerful lever. Once you have it, you can invest it strategically. It can buy you freedom, resources, time, or expertise. Money allows you to amplify whatever you're already doing well. But Naval emphasizes clearly, this is typically the last form of leverage you should chase, not the first. Because here's the beautiful part of Naval's approach. Unlike traditional leverage, where you needed family wealth, connections, or authority, modern leverage is permissionless. You don't need a degree, you don't need a boss or investor's approval, you don't even need to leave your house. All you need is creativity, consistency, and a willingness to share your authentic self with the world. But there's an essential caution. Naval includes here. Leverage amplifies who you already are. If you're lazy or dishonest, leverage will magnify that. If you're generous, creative, thoughtful, and ethical, leverage will multiply those qualities too. This is exactly why Naval places such emphasis on character, judgment, and wisdom. Because with leverage, your true self becomes louder. It's also why Naval reminds us, play long-term games with long-term people. Because leverage, real, meaningful leverage, takes time. Trust takes time. Genuine relationships take time. But when you build something authentic and lasting, the rewards compound in ways you can't even imagine right now. If you're sitting there right now thinking, but I'm not a programmer, I don't have an audience, I don't have money to invest, that's completely okay. Start exactly where Naval himself started. Learn, share, write, create. Pick a form of leverage, code, media, or capital, and slowly, patiently grow into it. Keep showing up consistently. And if your progress feels slow, good. Slow means you're planting roots deep enough to support real growth. Because ultimately, what Naval is teaching isn't just how to build wealth, it's how to design a life where your work supports you rather than drains you. A life where you build once, and your effort continues to bear fruit for years to come. And once you master that kind of leverage, once your unique knowledge begins scaling through code, media, or capital, you'll begin to realize something even more profound. That money was never the end goal. The real goal is freedom. And this brings us naturally into the emotional side of Naval's philosophy, understanding the pursuit of happiness, avoiding the trap of endless desire, and realizing why inner peace might truly be the ultimate form of wealth. That's exactly where we're headed next. So now you've built leverage. You're deeply connected to work that truly feels like you. You're starting to see the results, more freedom, more autonomy, maybe even more money flowing into your life. But then there comes that quiet voice, asking gently, why don't I feel as good as I thought I would? And right here is where Naval offers one of his most profound truths. Happiness is a choice and a skill that can be learned. It's not something you win at the end of a struggle. It's not something you earn after years of grinding. It's definitely not a distant reward reserved for your future self. Instead, Naval teaches that happiness is a daily practice, something you train your mind for, much like you train your body, through consistency, repetition, clarity, and learning to gently let go. And then he drops another insight, powerful enough to make you reconsider your entire approach to happiness. Desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. Just pause with that for a moment. Think about it. Every time you crave something, every time you fix your happiness to some future event, you've unknowingly agreed to suffer until that thing arrives. And even when it does arrive, that sense of fulfillment rarely lasts. Because immediately, the goalpost shifts. You land the job, and now your heart's set on the promotion. You finally find a relationship, but now you want your partner to change this thing or that. You hit the milestone you dreamed of, only to discover it isn't enough. It never is. That's the relentless cycle Naval warns about. So what's the alternative? Naval says the real path to happiness isn't about accumulating more. It's about stripping away the things that disturb your peace. It's about simplifying, detaching from outcomes, becoming comfortable in stillness. Naval meditates, not to be trendy, but because it gives him clarity. He walks without his phone, not to appear productive, but to reconnect with his own thoughts. He journals, he fasts, he says no, he lets go, not as an attempt to control life, but precisely because it helps him flow with it. Because ultimately, happiness isn't the byproduct of having everything. It's the state of mind you reach when you stop needing everything. Now, this doesn't mean you abandon your goals and live in isolation. Naval still builds companies, he still invests, he still dreams big. But the difference? He no longer waits to arrive before he allows himself to feel true joy. In his own words, the three big ones in life are wealth, health, and happiness. We pursue them in that order, but their importance is actually reversed. Yes, you can chase success, you can build empires, you can create amazing things and achieve incredible milestones. But if you don't learn how to cultivate happiness along the journey, then what's it all really worth? Naval reminds us that the truest measures of wealth aren't found in numbers or accolades. They're found in a calm, peaceful mind, a healthy body, and a home filled with genuine love and connection. These are the ultimate achievements, the real trophies. And ironically, they can't be bought. They must be cultivated, consciously and deliberately, through awareness, discipline, and a willingness to return to yourself again and again. And perhaps at its heart, this is the deeper purpose of Naval's entire philosophy and this book. It isn't just about building financial wealth or achieving external success. It's about realizing that true freedom is internal, that you already have everything you need to experience profound peace and genuine happiness. You simply have to stop outsourcing your sense of joy to the future. You have to remember. And that's how we're going to bring this journey full circle in the next segment, by weaving everything together: the wealth, the mindset, the happiness, the stillness, and reminding you of what Naval is truly inviting you to discover. So after all of it, the conversations about wealth, leverage, freedom, and happiness, we finally land here. Not with some magic formula, not with a step-by-step guide promising overnight success, but instead with a quiet, powerful clarity. Naval never once claims life will become effortless. He doesn't sell hustle. He doesn't preach grinding harder, waking up earlier, or sacrificing every bit of peace for productivity. Instead, what Naval offers is something much subtler, something infinitely more valuable. He offers permission. Permission to question everything you've been told about success. Permission to simplify rather than complicate. Permission to slow down instead of always racing forward. Permission to stop chasing goals that belong to everyone else but you. Naval invites you to pause and look inward, asking yourself the questions that truly matter. What's genuinely mine, beneath all the noise? What kind of life do I really want? Not for validation, not to impress others, but purely because it fulfills me. Where in my life am I exchanging true freedom for superficial approval? Trading valuable time for money I don't actually need? Sacrificing inner peace for external noise? And perhaps the most profound truth Naval shares is this: success without self-awareness is simply another trap. Wealth without inner peace is nothing but stress wearing a more expensive disguise. Because in the end, the real flex, the real luxury, isn't about status or stuff. It's waking up without anxiety. It's loving how your days unfold. It's surrounding yourself with people who genuinely matter to you and never feeling the pressure to prove anything to anyone. That's the essence of the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. That's the heart behind all those viral quotes. If there's one message I'm personally taking from this book, it's this: my life doesn't have to mirror anyone else's journey. I don't need to constantly do more to be more valuable. The richest lives aren't always measured by money, but by how free someone feels in their choices, their mind, and their heart. If you've made it this far with me, maybe you needed to hear this too. So let me leave you with a gentle reminder. Start with what genuinely excites you, what makes you feel alive. Build something only you can build, something authentic and irreplaceable. Use leverage to amplify your impact and share your gifts with the world. And never forget, even amidst the hustle, to pause and feel the sunlight on your skin. Because wealth can be wonderful. But freedom? Freedom is everything. If this summary resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Bix Book Summary. I create these videos not just to share insights, but to spark meaningful changes in your life. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one idea from Naval that you're going to carry forward into your own life? If you'd like to explore these ideas deeper, I've linked the book in the description below. This is one of those rare books you revisit, not because you forget what it taught you, but because each time you return, you've changed, you've grown, and you're ready to understand its wisdom in new ways. Until next time, I'm Bix. Stay intentional, stay still, and keep building your freedom.